are there updated rankings from yesterday or no? Is the elo sheet as far as this the 15?
Yeah. So we do have the data in, but we do not update the elo sheet in the middle of a 2-day fight period.
Got it. So
Given
they
that
don't know
there's
where
like,
they're at.
yeah, and given that sometimes people will reschedule a match from one day to the next day and vice versa. So we wait until all that's done, nail it down, and then spit it out at the same time.
Now, can you explain these fight nights? Are teams utilizing those to get extra battles in?
Yeah. So the vision that we had for that is we wanted to try to make something different for teams, just as opposed to the regular season matches. If I'm being honest, I feel like it wasn't as highly utilized as we envisioned. Shut the fuck up! But we have an idea, and basically it was partially because people felt secure in their spots and they didn't want to risk it. But we're thinking of for next season changing it so it's all you can do is win points, kind of like the clan brawl style instead of clan battle style point differential.
Got it. Okay, on the side of the BLEP rats, we have Mick777 in the Mikasa, Worship Max in the Ohio, Snaky TK in the Junbart, and History Buff rounding it out in the Kremlin.
Alright, and on the side of Task Force 34, we've got Pravda in the Kremlin. I am awaited at the bottom in the Musashi, Bamernoob in the John Bart, and IGN Yamato BB17 in the lowly Nassau.
I have a question, chat. What are the rules for this? So basically, it's a 4v4 battleship tournament, and you're allowed 31 points. Every tier is worth 1 point. So a tier 10 ship is worth 10 points towards your 31. A tier 5 ship is worth 5, so on and so forth. Any 4 ships that add up to 31 that are also in a separate country. So you can't have a Georgia and an Ohio that are both U.S. ships. So they have to be of separate nations and add to 31 points. And I think that's the only part of those rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so it looks like both of these teams put the proper people in the proper places, although Mikasa is not going towards A, and Nassau is considering it. It looks like he's got to have radio location on because he just turned left. Fight in the middle, Junbart and Musashi versus Junbart.
Ohio and Kremlin are starting to get shots on this Kremlin here. The Kremlin on the Task Force 34 side, if he pushes up a little bit, you can get some respite with this rock. The Ohio can loft that island at this point, though, and start working him down.
Well, and the Junbart on the Bleprat side has full sped to the left, basically going dark. But now, this is the advantage of the Bravo spawn. If you're able to push in from this left side or push in towards the middle, it gives you very, very clear crossfire shots on C. And both the Ohio and the Kremlin are very, very vulnerable, and you have 2 ships that you want to take these shots, which is the Junbart with the reload booster and the Musashi with its great pen.
The John Bart and Musashi are getting very aggressive, which I kind of like. I don't know if they've noticed the John Bart is moving off so much, but the John Bart doesn't really have much shots unless he loops back to try to get on them. So they have the side of the Ohio, perfect side on the Ohio, and the side on the Kremlin right here. So there could be some heavy focus fire showing up here in a second. The Nassau is pushing for A, and if he actually hard commits to A, the John Bart can easily run him down. So,
well, and what I think we're going to end up seeing is the Kremlin and Ohio pushing forward, putting them in a 2v1 versus the Kremlin. They are going to take a little bit of punishment for it. If I'm the Junbart and Musashi, I'm saying shoot the Kremlin. He is flat broadside, and he is the bigger threat on the other Kremlin. And it looks like that's what they're doing. Nope, they shot at the Ohio.
Ohio and Kremlin are turning to focus on the Kremlin, which sort of questionable because I feel like if I'm the Task Force 34's Kremlin, I can reverse. I can kite out a little bit here, and once they get super close, I'll just turn around and ram if you have enough health. So it's an interesting cross shot they've got.
Boom!
Right
Double
here.
Citadel on the Kremlin.
Oof.
And the Nassau is hard committing, and he's going to die.
Yep.
This Jean Bart, it's only a matter of time. Now, the question is, can he stay undetected long enough? I mean, they know he's there. He's capping A to get to the point of this island, potentially ram the Jean Bart?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. The Jean Bart's pretty maneuverable, though, so I doubt that happens.
Well, but Kremlin and
damage.
Ohio are taking some damage. And it looks like Pravda may be able to get out of this with his life. Now, he is backing up. So if they commit to this push now, Kremlin has the Kremlin. He's got a big enough angle to Citadel history buff from this point on.
Yeah, which is just the dangerous part of this crossfire here. Almost both of them are able to get hits here. And then this other Kremlin's just returning HE onto this other Kremlin. He's not able to get any good solid pens.
Well, at this point, do you try and conserve... There he goes. Musashi takes down the Kremlin. Do you try and conserve the HP of the Jean Bart and Musashi and have the Kremlin ram? Or you have a 3v1 advantage, you go for the kill. I think you go for the kill in this situation.
Yep. I mean, you could leave the ram in your back pocket and see what happens. But, yeah, that's what I would do as well. Nassau is going down, but I don't think that'll be enough to change turn the tables right now.
Yeah, and the Jean Bart is going to be... Oof. It's going to be Jean Bart and Mikasa. Now, see, this boils down to the Ohio's ability to hit this Jean Bart was pretty good. They are going to be able to all live and heal.
Oh, Kremlin's given a little bit of side. He's going to hit the edge.
Yeah, he's run out of room.
Aggressively.
And his engine's at 50%, so any action he tries to do at this point, in terms of turning around, is going to be doubly slow.
I'm going to go ram this
They've
guy.
got to put... Yeah, that was big damage. That does it. Nice shot. Beautiful. And now you have your 3 powerful ships versus a Jean Bart and a Mikasa. In no world does this turn into a win. Even in your best case scenario, if your Mikasa has managed to ram something, there's 200,000 HP available. A little more than that on 3 different ships. There's no way that they're going to make a mistake to the Jean Bart because they don't have to expose any part of their broad to them. It's just one ship. You can bow on with him the entire time. Best case scenario, he rams something to kill it, but that still leaves 2. I don't see BLEP pulling this off. Hi, White Mane.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm agreeing with you more and more on the Mikasa pick. Mikasa on the BLEP side has had 0 impact, in my opinion, so far on the match. I mean, you're in a Mikasa, you're kind of limited to begin with, but just based on how ships were positioned at the start and the lack of information, he wasn't even able to sneak off to that lone cap and cap it by himself. So he's just been following the Jean Bart like a
lost puppy.
Stepchild.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's if you have. So I did find out in my chat that the tier 3 battleship was able to Citadel the Kremlin at the end, which is craziness.
Oh, wow.
For 9k, but it's still a Citadel. I mean, if you put these are experienced battleship players. If you put someone in a Julio, can he be one tapped at close range? Absolutely. But that, so avoid that close range. You give someone a Tirpitz can take down any ship in the game.
But you do have to worry about overmatch.
You worry about overmatch, and that's, but all of these maps, like especially in the last map in Big Race, that's a Tirpitz's home. And you go from having 3 ships able to fire, and you know, even in a lower tier ship, you can punish, like, tier 7 plays with tier 9 constantly, and I can show you game after game of me winning, you know, battles with tier 9 battleships in that situation because you can punish them. You can light them on fire. You at least have enough range to do like these Mikasa picks. I feel like you're eliminating angles, you're eliminating fires, and it's for the overmatch. People are afraid of the overmatch, but like you get a Turpitz, you're just gonna pen them. So that eliminates that. Oh, there goes the Jean Bart, and now again you see this game after game. Mikasa just existing until they get to kill him, and that's what can they have given up here? If you give up an Ohio for a Georgia, and you change the Kremlin to a Musashi, now you have a tier 4 ship. That's better than a Mikasa, and you're not really losing much. Or maybe Kremlin for a Pommern and Georgia, and now you have 2 secondary ships, and I would take the Jean Bart out and change it to a Musashi, and then you have a tier 4. I think there's so much more value in having a tier 4, tier 5 battleship, and the difference between tier 9 and tier 10 is nominal in most situations. And with that, you're going to have Task Force 34 taking the W from Blaprets. Who do we have here? So Bearded Gentleman and Canuck the Canadian Goose. Thank you both for the follows. Welcome.
Pick change that you were talking about for this last round.
My PR and okay, wait. I worked so hard to hit 50, and now I'm plummeting to 48, and my PR by over 20. Fuck these teams. It's a natural part, Epic. It's a natural part. I went on a huge surge to 55 and then drop down to 54. Hi, Bam Bam. So none of the teams are leaving to respec captains. You assume they've respec captains at this time. But what did we have? We had a Jean Bart, a Mikasa. Hold on, why is my stream so shitty? Because I'm viewing it in 480 like an idiot. An Ohio and a Kremlin. So what counters these things? You bring in a Musashi, which, no, they had a Musashi, but it did not work out in this situation. Jean Bart with the reload booster and a Kremlin. So they brought no secondary ships in, so maybe a secondary ship. I don't know what the answer is here.
Yep.
Beer, what is your Twitch name, by the way?
Oh, it is Hold My Beer with 4 underscores.
Hold_my_beer?
No. It is Hold My Beer and then followed by 4 underscores.
Got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if, make sure to support my co-caster, Hold My Beer. Check him out. There's his link. There's a great little clip that plays now too.
I've dabbled in Twitch. I feel like most of my utility has just been to share with fellow clanmates and whatnot. But I am at 48 followers, so 2 more followers.
2 more, we get him to affiliate. If 10 of you go and watch, that guarantees that he gets his 3 average viewers. Help a brother out. All right, looks like both teams are ready. All I have to say is don't lewd Grandpa. That's a player. I know that, right? Isn't a player called lewd Grandpa?
No, I think... I don't know what the deal is. I think... So, this N clan... Well, one thing is this YOLO guy is part of our sister clan, YOLO and YOLO W, the clan that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
N is also like another sister community that we've been partnered with for like a year and a half now, and they had somebody in there named I Hate Grandpa or something like. I'm not sure. So they might be referencing him. I'm not sure.
Got it.
Alrighty. I don't think there's a change here.
Ohio, Jean Bart, Kremlin. Yeah, Kremlin for Kerr first.
Actually, they I think they the Musashi's new, I think.
No. Kremlin, Jean Bart, Nassau. So on the side of... why do I struggle with Task Force 34? It's all the same. On the side of Blepretz, they've switched out the Kremlin for the Kurfürst. It's the beauty of the 5-minute delay. I can go back and look. That's what I'm doing. I'm cheating.
Nice.
But again, it looks like A is going to be the uncontested side. Now, last time, and this is what I get to with kind of the playbooks of these teams. Hold on 1 second. Hi, puppies, good girls. There you go. No more writing in my chat. Puppies have been played with. The Jean Bart ended up going to D, and it looks like... See, this is what I'm talking about strategically. Now, I'm in charge of the strategy for the Wookiee clan, and the number one thing we look at, and this is to help other teams, the number one thing we look at is the tendencies of teams. And so if I'm calling for Blepretz, I'm saying right in the beginning, I'm expecting their Jean Bart to go to A. And they've done that. So that's an advantage I have in this game before it even starts. I know where you're likely to go, and I can put a ship there to counter it.
Like watching this team do this before?
Well, so in the last match they did the same exact thing. And so they're playing a tendency game, and it's going to be interesting to see. So if they bring this same comp, I'm expecting basically a mirror of this in Big Race, where the Jean Bart will go right, and the Kremlin and the Musashi will stay as a tandem pair. So getting rid of the Kremlin in favor of the Kurfürst for D will allow them to put a little bit more pressure on the Kremlin, and will eliminate the Musashi's ability to overmatch Citadel. Now, there is a place where you can Citadel the Kurfürst. It is ridiculously hard to hit. I don't expect to see that happen. And
yeah, but that being said, I mean, the Kremlin and Musashi are no pushovers. They could just chunk the Kurfürst down here.
Sure. And that's... So, Blepretz appears to be...
I sort of question this Ohio's placement.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. Where the Jean Bart makes sense, and the Jean Bart can fight a Jean Bart Nassau in a kiting position and hold that cap long. But again, Nassau's going to be able to fire HE. Mikasa's not. I mean, it can, but its gunners are drunk.
I'd be really interested to see it. All indications are showing both Mikasa and Nassau going mid, and if the teams were able to catch wind of this of each other, if I was on the Task Force 34 side, I would just push with the Nassau and kill Mikasa. You might take a ram, but there's a chance you just outright kill him.
So
it would be funny to see a Mikasa kill a Nassau, though. It's technically possible.
It can happen, and so what the Ohio's doing is smart for lack of information. He's in a kiting position, and he's able to support both A and D. So once they figure out where they have an advantage, and by having the Ohio in the middle, they can create an advantage on either side, or maybe a disadvantage. So normally battleships counter battleships, but in an all battleship game, yeah, it looks like he's going to go over. They know it's a 2v1. It's going to take them a little bit of time to be able to go and counter this, but now they know for sure that the Jean Bart is not in a situation where he's going to insta-die.
GK is coming out almost super broad to the Kremlin.
And the Krem punished him for it.
Yeah, he's going to be forced to turn in on this island, I think. The Musashi is blocked right now, but... yeah, the Kurfürst is going to have to do a full turnout in front of this Kremlin. We'll see what kind of damage change happens here.
Pay attention to Satan, I'll follow. What in the world? I am paying attention to him. He's just on a delay, you jokers. Alright, so Jean Bart versus Jean Bart. The initial placement of Spammer Noob is going to leave him a little bit susceptible. He's going to have to turn in, but he has managed to get a fire on Snaky TK. Only one, though. It looks like he's going to let it burn, and now we're just going to have a bow in Battle of Jean Bart's. So, unless something crazy happens here, you're going to see them be able to trade similar damage, and whoever does end up winning will be about 18,000 health after heal.
Yeah, both of them have got a fire burning. Both of them have switched to AP at this point, which is wise. It's going to be interesting. I don't know why. I mean, I get that you want to turn a little bit to get your secondaries more so in play, but I feel like Snaky's turning a little bit too much right now.
Well, the difference though is he's got more secondaries going. That's going to be fires He's losing the HP battle at the moment, but I think fires over time will win out. He's firing HE as well versus Spammer's AP and his superstructure, and he's down 10k, so he needs to get a little RNG on his side to get the fires, and if he doesn't, then you're gonna have a problem on the side of Snaky. But if he does, he's gonna win. So it's a gamble.
Yeah, this is a completely different game than we saw last match. Basically 3 completely isolated battles happening at the same time. Musashi is pushing up to try to take on this Ohio and Kerfers. I'm not sure if I like that, because if either of them push up to get the side of the Musashi, you're kind of screwed. But Musashi might be planning to just hold up on
Malarkey slang for bullshit, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Kremlin's taking some damage, but managing to mitigate it fairly well. And Nassau is pushing up to get the damage in on this Mikasa. Snaky is taking some massive hits. He's definitely losing this exchange right here so far.
Well, and at this point in time, he had the Jeanbart backing up, and this is the overcommit that we're talking about. So when you're in a battleship, you want to be at range to be able to shoot at them, but enough of a distance that if you are in the losing end of the battle, and he's going very broadside at this point, that you can disengage, and he's eliminated that option. If he turns now, he basically game returns. His only option is this island to the left, but I don't think he's going to be able to have the angle to get it. So he's committed to this fight, and he's losing. Mikasa's going for a ram. Look at this. I think Nassau just sits there and fires HE, but they've
Kerfers could also chip in on this Nassau. If he gets spotted, it could just be a one-shot, so that's...
Now, are they more threatened by this Musashi? Because I'm seeing focus fire go out the window. They chipped this Kremlin way down. He has to be on his DCP, and now they're secondary firing the Musashi. They can see the Kremlin. There's no reason to stop firing at him. You're basically giving him longevity by doing it. And now,
Yep.
Oh, I see. Wait, the Kerfurst secondaries, he's not a secondary build Kerfurst.
Huh.
Well, that explains it.
I don't know if I saw this. The Nassau, I think it took 10k off the Kerfurst.
I just saw the Kerfurst take a big hit. I think...
Yeah. I saw Nassau shots going out, so I'm not sure if that was what it was.
I'm not 100% sure. Can we get a shout cast for the last map, since Epicenter is the most dogshit map ever?
As a biased and like I haven't been able to get into it with people, do people really think the last map is the least fun?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Epicenter.
I'm looking for honest feedback.
I think well, see, you're limited on small maps.
A little bit, but there's some options.
Kremlin's going to kill the Kerfers.
Using polar.
Oh,
wow.
There he goes. Kerfers is down, and now the not firing at the Kremlin is biting BLEP rats in the ass right now. And Mikasa's backing up. Why?
To the Snaky's credit, he's sort of managed to even things out. Spammer has double the health. He's managed to pop a heal at this point, so maybe I was just seeing things with the...
This is going to come down to DCPs and fires. If he gets a fire on here, so there went his heal health. And Mikasa backed. I don't get the Mikasa backup play.
He's out, I think.
He had this Nassau dead to rights.
Well, they could have been a little bit of this. Ohio could delete
little
the Nassau
Ohio
right
secondaries,
now.
maybe bring the Mikasa up the center.
Yeah,
Now,
that could be victory.
if this Jeanbart manages to get a fire here, and maybe one big hit, no, he's going down. I was gonna say the advantage of using HE the entire time is while he may die, he may have taken the Jeanbart with him. But it looks like the Jeanbart's going to win. The Mikasa, is being shot up by the Nassau, and the Nassau has guns on both sides, so he could do a little swivel action. It doesn't look like that's what he's doing. It looks like he's focusing most of his attention on the Nassau, and the Musashi's just going to straight charge the Ohio. This is definitely going the way of, oh, God damn it. I'm terrible at this, of Task Force 34.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the big difference in this game was putting the Ohio in the center while it made sense to be able to support either side, if you brought it to the side that was at a disadvantage, that didn't kite away. That's the disadvantaged side needs to kite away, not commit to that battle. You're basically just delaying the time the Ohio had to get into the battle and get shots on target. So I agree, the Ohio was a little risky of a play.
I liked the shot selection of this Ohio there at that second. I mean, things are looking dire, but it was an intelligent move to try to reset that John Bart. John Bart was low. There was a freak chance he could take him down, but it looks to be all pretty cut and dried at this point.
Yeah, and look at the Kremlin. The Kremlin, they had that Kremlin. And, you know, best case scenario for them, they killed the Kremlin. The Kerfer still is going to go down, but you're one-on-one with the, was it the Musashi versus Ohio? And at close range, I like my odds in the Ohio. And again, it boils back down to number of guns. Like, having 2 guns on one is going to win most of the time unless they're kiting away. And when they're kiting away, they're not going to be able to get all their guns on it, so it's just a saving time for your team. If that John Bart could have won that fight and healed up, he could have potentially contributed, but that was 3 individual fights that Task Force 34 managed to win. And they had a game plan, they stuck to it, but this is what I'm getting to again. I could tell you what they're going to do in the next map. The next map, they're going to take that John Bart, they're going to move it right. They're going to take their Musashi and Kremlin, and they're gonna put the Kremlin towards the middle. They're going to take their Musashi and probably put him in on the left hand side with the Kremlin support, and they're gonna put their Nassau basically in that island we saw last time. And you know this ahead of time, and if you know this ahead of time, you got to be able to counter. So that's all information that, let's say, has an 80% chance of happening, and you know ahead of time. Do you have the ships and skill to counter that? Now,
yeah, and it is interesting to see what kind of ship compositions they would bring to try to counter that.
Well, and you know what BLEP has going for them is they don't have a pre-disposed plan. They brought the Ohio towards the center. It was definitely different than what we saw on the first map. So they have unpredictability on their side. And can you use that unpredictability to potentially, you know, do something, I don't want to say crazy, but aggressive in order to catch this team off guard? You just saw that in a 1v1 heads-up battle, you've lost. So you have to create advantages for yourself somewhere. And when you're doing that, there's a disadvantage. And this is something most teams don't understand. When you have an advantage somewhere, that means you have a disadvantage somewhere else. And that disadvantaged ship needs to be in a kiting position, needs to be able to mitigate damage. Like, if you can't win the one-on-one fight, and I'm using a singular battle as an example, maybe they can. But if you can't, then you have to mitigate that disadvantage. And so having a ship that kites away well, that has good armor, that can't be citadel through the booty or the deck, you know, matters. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. There's a lot that goes on at this point in time before the game begins that I think a lot of teams, you know, going into the next one or going into the playoffs, they can give themselves a significant advantage at this point in time.
Yep. When we were initially looking at setting up this tournament and trying to make it just this fun brawling thing, because lots of people like these battleship brawls, it was originally 3v3 and it was limited to like tier 9s or something like that. The initial thought was it was like, yeah, there wouldn't be much strategy, just kind of go on in and brawl it out and see what happens. But bring your best brawlers, may the best brawler win. But I myself have been impressed with the types of strategies, like you were mentioning, that have been emerging as we've been seeing this move on. The variables are certainly less than other competitive formats, but the strategy is still there.
Yep, and it looks like We are Ohio Mikasa, Jean Bart, Kremlin. So now we're seeing the Kurfürst replaced with the Kremlin again on the side of BLEP Rats.
And I also wonder if part of what's going into this is some of these players don't have access to tons and tons of ships, and it might be a little bit of, hey, I'll come play and I'm really, really good, and I would laugh if someone said I'm really great at the Mikasa, pick me, but other
Mikasa
people might be
pro.
like, I'm really great at the Musashi, throw me in the Musashi, and like people can just play their butt off and then Musashi. I mean, there's a lot of factors into that.
Oh, for sure. And you know, I realize that I myself, I'm a CC and I don't have every ship. So as much as I want to bring a Musashi and I don't have one. But there
How
are
do you not have a Musashi?
do not have a Musashi.
That's a rip.
Want a Musashi, don't have a Musashi. So let's
get them out of crates though, right?
What's that? You can still get them out of crates. And you know what? And look at this. I'm wrong. So my strategical call of them bringing the Jean Bart to the right, they're changing it up a little bit. Jean Bart's still going left, which is what they've been doing. That's a weird place for a Jean Bart, unless maybe they did their homework and know that BLEP Rats like to bring two to the right side, which they have. And they're going to be able to get some neat cross shots on here. Now, Jean Bart is very susceptible to secondary ships, and there's no Hio waiting for him. So he's got to be very careful to mitigate the fire damage. Everyone knows that the Jean Bart basically eats HE for breakfast and, you know, burns his mouth in the process.
It'll be interesting to see how they use their low-tier ships. A lot of times we'll see it where they use those as kind of poking in here and there to grab that second ring, and neither of them seem to be getting into a position. The Nassau maybe eventually might be getting there.
Well, and let's take a look at that advantage v disadvantage. So right now, BLEP Reps, they don't know it yet. Let's see what they see. They know where the Musashi and the Jean Bart is, so they know enough to know that their left side is their advantage. So that means this Ohio needs to be going backwards, and he is, or he needs to dive an island and get safe there. So the best way to mitigate damage is make sure they can't shoot you at all. Looking at their ship composition, you are under no threat of being torpedoed. You are under no threat of being secondaried to death. The only thing that could really hurt you here is the cross-firing Kremlin. So if he goes dark, and let's take a look, he is dark, I think you stay here, and you let that Musashi and Jean Bart stew, and you potentially go right to stay further away from the Kremlin, and potentially penalize these Jean Bart and Musashi. But if you're dark right now, you're using this time to turn around. And if you're not turning around while dark, then you're not utilizing the fact that you're at a disadvantage here.
Yeah. I don't know if the Nassau has been spotted, but I'm wondering if the Ohio is worried the Nassau will spot him in a turn. It looks like he is
Nassau is not spotted.
Moving up here.
Do you know how to change between those?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard. So 1 will show you what the blue team, green team sees, 2 will show you what the red team sees, and 3 will show you everything.
Nice. See, learning new things every day. The Kremlin is backing into that outer ring. He was forced to do that to prevent the red team Task Force 34 from grabbing those outer ring points.
And now you have the Nassau in the... This is the most consistent spot for the low-tier battleship.
So Ohio is moving into a really bad position.
Yeah, remember what I said about advantage, disadvantage? This Ohio is... He's got to know that he's at a disadvantage, why he's engaging. And I mean, I guess part of this is the battleship mentality of, you know, I have HP, I'm going to fight, and look at this Kremlin shots. This Kremlin's going to just decimate him. Yep, 16k. Ugh.
I feel like in the microcosm of this 4v4, like even compared to clan battles, high-level clan battles, the game of like 20k HP matters way more. Like I think in clan battles it's all about the knockouts. Who can you finish? Who can you kill to just prevent them from being in there? But if you get like a 40k hit on someone, it's almost as if you're taking someone out of a fight.
Oh, definitely. And not only that,
North Carolina giving
so
me a full
there's
broadside.
there's two
Ooh.
disciplines of thought here. The first for earlier battleship players is if you take that amount of damage, you overcommit and you try and take as much with you. Oh, Kremlin's giving broad to the other Kremlin.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the move of him getting aggressive
There you
to
go.
try
Yeah,
to take
yeah.
pressure off for Ohio. You got to do everything you can to do that, but he's opening himself up, and it's almost snowballing a little bit right here. Oh, and HE, that's a interesting choice.
Well, and this is the second time we've seen them reactionary to where the two battleships are. So they had an advantage. That advantage was on the left side, and if you look at this Kremlin, the Kremlin has taken 5,000 damage on the disadvantaged side. So that is beautiful play from Pravda. Now, let's look at the converse side with the Ohio. The Ohio is down to a quarter of his health and is just now running for his life. And at this point,
Yeah,
it's
and
too
he
late.
still is shooting. I'm wondering. I mean, he's is it like 14 something? Maybe the detect on Ohio?
He'd be detected by the Musashi.
This Kremlin actually has got side shots of the other Kremlin, so that's interesting.
And aimed that way, but he's backing up to the right to do it. Now the Nassau, the Nassau is way out of position, and the Kremlin almost misses.
If I was this Ohio, it's nice to stay in play, but you gotta go to the edge of the map right now.
And heal. I mean, things we've seen with Derbny with 6A and the Mikasa, he just stayed alive. There's some advantage to just staying alive, and we've seen that be the decider in the game. Now this Kremlin, because he tried to save the Ohio, is in a very, very bad crossfire, and he's got to turn left.
Their John Bart is also stationary in broadside as well, so lots of target-rich environment for Task Force 34.
Well,
It
and
is smart to push and try to get some sort of engagement, a trade, maybe.
he has cheek on the Musashi, and he shot at the Jean Bart. Wow, this Kremlin's just getting crushed. And he's still shooting at the Jean Bart. I understand he's low. There you go. There you go. He's shooting a little too far back. And this is just
going for a shot and trade.
Yeah, come on. He's got his reload booster up. You got to hit this cheek. And there goes the Krem. So, I mean, that Jean Bart can hit those Musashi shots. That Musashi is out. And you still have a Jean. But see, this is the Kremlin. And I got to give all the credit in the world to this Kremlin. He basically, on the side, the disadvantageous side, outlasted and has outdamaged the advantageous side of BLEP. The Jean Bart is getting dinged now. The Mikasa is just waiting to die. This is going to be a 4-0. And Kremlin's just biding his time, and he can just go forward, pop out, or just wait for the Jean Bart to move. These guns are just waiting. Let's take a look and wait for this shot, because I think these are going to be. He's getting greedy. He's turning his ship to the right to be able to get all the turrets on target, and this Jean Bart is dead. Look at this. Bah. Oh, there's 20K.
NASA's even moving in to get on some of this action now.
So, some feedback for BLEP rats. You gotta. So there's two ways of playing. There's, countering what the enemy team does, and then there's identifying when you have advantage. And basically, they took where they had their advantage, and they turned it into an even play, and basically moved their second ship to where they were disadvantaged. But by the time they did that, the Ohio was bow in, and he was screwed. By the time he turned around, he didn't have enough help. So
yeah, I wonder a little bit of what played into that was impressions on the type of ships and the type of encounters that people are having. Like, if I'm in a 2v1 with two tier 9s going up against the Kremlin and you're squishy, I don't know if it's like a for sure win per se. So I wonder if on the other side, for BLEP rats, if it was like, I'm not really interested in facing on a nosed-in Kremlin. and that faltering was what contributed to what we saw there.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the fact that in a heads Mikasa gets a ram here. 4-0 though, so that's gonna be it. Three games in favor of Task Force 34, and if we look at where they were at on the ELO sheet before, that was Task Force 34 was vying for that potential guaranteed second spot in the blue division. A triple win here is going to go a long way to helping them. BLEP Rats, they were
for sure.
They were on the cusp of potentially making it into the play-in rounds, but a triple loss is going to put a big dent in those hopes. So hopefully they do well in their last game. But there's a lot of discussion to be had about whether or not you play your strategy or you try and counter the enemy strategy. And I think they need to work more on playing their own